everyone, welcome back. This is Deja with Twisted Sisters Mojo, and it is time to do a reading, and I hope everyone had a really great weekend. I hope everybody's Monday has started off good and positive and full of energy. I hope everyone has taken full advantage of the moon energy. And what we're going to do today is we are going to take a look at what the rest of the month has in store for you based on what element your sun sign falls under. For example, I'm a Scorpio, so my elemental correspondence is water. So that's how we're going to do this. So we're going to start off with Earth. So if you are an Earth sign, this is what the rest of the month has in store for you, the rest of March. So I'm going to get these shuffled up. Let's see what is in store if you are an Earth sign for the rest of March. Because we are coming up Friday the 13th, so we've got a week. So about 3 weeks. So what does the last 3 weeks have in store? So we're going to check it out here. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, it looks as though we've got a couple of different things that are going on coming through the end of March, and we're going to break it down for you. So we have the 10 of coins up in its reverse position. That is paired up with the 3 of swords. And it's also paired up with the 9 of wands. What this particular layout is telling me is that if you are an Earth sign and we're looking at situations in the romantic department, your partner may be acting a little immature, and that's causing you some conflict. And honestly, it seems as though, when the two of you go at it, you have a tendency to settle your differences very loudly verbally, and that causes a lot of heartbreak. So if you're going into the rest of this month, it's going to be about being patient with your partner. It really is. It's going to be about being able to embrace their quirky, kind of obnoxious behavior from time to time. And it's going to be about them kind of, like I said, pressing your buttons and you having to find a better way to communicate your irritation with them. Because, arguing, fighting, it's just so physically draining, emotionally draining, and spiritually draining that, it doesn't solve anything positive. So going into the end of the month, if you're an Earth sign and people are pushing your buttons and they're giving you a hard time and your partner's irritating the shit out of you, it's going to be all about you drawing on that earth energy and really putting forth a lot of patience. Communication going into the rest of the month, we've got the Hermit in reverse. We've got the Ace of Wands in its reverse. And then we have the Magician in its upright. So you're going to have you're going to be juggling a lot of things going through the end of the month. And it's going to feel like maybe you're shouldering all of the burden of the things that need to be done by yourself. But what you're not taking into account is you yourself have taken on these burdens and not let anybody step in to help you carry that. And that's your responsibility. So what you have to do is you have to be able to spread the responsibility, delegate, ask people for help, because it doesn't always have to be all about you. And you're not you don't constantly have to be in control. So, going into the rest of the month, just don't overdo things. If you have to delegate responsibility to, so that you're not trying to keep all of these projects going and burning yourself out. All right, and last but not least, we have the Lovers. Up in, we have the Four of Coins or Pentacles. And then we have the Ace of Swords in its reverse. So, if you are single and you have not been looking, you don't need to. Okay? It is perfectly fine to be focused on yourself. It is perfectly fine to be a little bit selfish and be about you, because that's what you need to be. You have opportunities coming at you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. So, you know what? If you are single and not looking, now is not the time to look. And it's good to be all about you from time to time. And so focus on that. Focus on your spirituality, focus on your creativity and what makes you happy, and do what you got to do. All right? So that has been the Earth sign prediction for the rest of the month. So let's take a look at, if you are an air sign, what does the latter part of the month have in store? Okay. Righty. Right, looking good. Looking good. All right, if you are an air sign, what does the rest of the month of March have in store? We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Four of Wands. And we have the Three of Wands. All of these, well, I'm sorry, two of them are up in their upright. The four is in its reverse position. So let's take a look at what's in store if you are an air sign for the rest of the month. All right, when we're talking about the Ace of Pentacles, we are talking about money. We are talking about opportunities. We are talking about gifts. We're talking about blessings. We're talking about positivity. What it's paired with is the World in reverse and the Queen of Cups in reverse. So what this is telling me is that you've got money coming in. It's going to afford you opportunities to maybe get some bills paid off. No, it's not going to be about having a lot of money to blow, but you've got money coming in, and it's going to allow you to maybe get caught up in things that you need to get caught up on. So that's looking pretty good. We've got the Moon paired up with the Four of Wands, and we also have the Five of Swords paired up with the Four of Wands. If you are an air sign and you are, let's see here, it doesn't look like it's going to be a good time for you to really undertake anything new. I would say that there's going to be situations that you are going to be walking away from that you already know deep in your heart aren't really going anywhere. So, you know, if your gut instinct is telling you, you know what, I need to get out of this situation, whether it be romance, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a collaboration, a business collaboration, whatever it may have you, now is not the good time to keep pushing that forward. It's better to walk away from a situation that you already know is not going to pan out, or if you're having doubts, the rest of the month will be a good time for you to walk away from things like that. So, what else do we have? All right. It is going to be all about balancing the creative and spiritual with the mundane. Now, interestingly enough, with these two cards in play, if you are a single female, You will be looking at a situation where you are going to have a choice between two individuals. One of them, well, they both look kind of positive, but they're very much different in how they interact. One seems to be very much a creative person, maybe a little bit on the immature side. The other one seems to be more, maybe a little bit older and a little more, bit of a control freak, maybe a little bit more goal oriented. It's really not saying who or what to choose, but what the cards are saying is that now is not the time to try and push and make that decision. You've got a few more weeks before you're going to have to choose. If you are, like I said, if you are a female and you have two different individuals that you are kind of like, which one do I choose? Which one do I go for? The rest of March, you have the rest of March to kind of maybe sort through your feelings and try and figure out exactly what it is or who it is you want. So, like I said, if you are a single female or a single male, I don't want to make any assumptions here, but if you're single male, single female, and you're trying to force yourself to make a choice between two partners, you have 3 weeks at minimum before you are pushed to make that decision. So just write it out. Just write it out, relax, don't sweat it. So that has been, all right, so yes indeedy. And what else are we looking at here? I think that pretty much wraps it up if you are air. If you are an air sign, that is what you can look forward to for the rest of the month of March. And so let's jump into fire signs. Let's see. If you are a fire sign, what does the rest of the month of March have in store for you? So let's check it out here. All right. Okay, a little precarious. That's good. Okay. All right. If you are a fire sign and you are going into looking at the rest of what March has in store, it's an interesting collaboration of cards. The first set we're looking at is we have the Death card up. And contrary to what some people may think, the Death card generally does not talk about physical death. It talks about change. It talks about transition. Now, what it's paired with is the Five of Cups in its reverse. And also, we are looking at the, what do we got here? We are looking at the Knight of Wands. So, if you are in a relationship with someone and you are contemplating whether or not to continue with this, you need to understand that there is hope that this relationship can work out. You just have to give it a chance. You need to quit sweating the small stuff. You need to relax and understand that, your relationship is going to change, but it is going to change in a positive direction. It is going to change in a way that is going to give you hope, and it is going to give you positivity, and it's going to have a positive outcome for you. All right, so let's see what else we are looking at. We're looking at Justice in reverse. We are looking at the Knight of Swords in its reverse. And we are also looking, Knight of Swords in its upright. And we are also looking at, nope, it was in its reverse. We are also looking at the Two of Swords in its upright. Okay, so what this is telling me is that it's not going to be a really good time through the rest of the month to be making any huge decisions. You need some clarity. There's things that you need to think about. You need to look in depth. Where you're sitting as far as these decisions that you're contemplating making is really on shaky ground. So the rest of the month going into March, it is not going to be a good time to be pushing your luck and making decisions that are like huge. So you're going to want to pull back on that. So hold off making any big decisions for the rest of the month. And then we've got the Tower up in its upright. We have the Empress in its upright. And then we have the Six of Wands in its upright. You could be looking at a situation family-wise where there's a lot of disruption with your family, a lot of people bumping heads with each other, and it can feel like your family relationship is falling apart. But in reality, it's, everybody's making a mountain out of a molehill. There seems to be a lot of ego involved, sibling rivalry, parents being pushy, people trying to control your life, and you really having a desire to not have to fall into what your family expects you to do. So, if you are a person that is out there and you are dealing with family issues, the rest of March, you're going to have a couple situations that come into play that are going to be a little, and they're going to stress you out quite a bit. When it comes right down to it, you don't choose your family. You can't change your family. So sometimes argue with people over things that you really it's not worth it. If you are someone that is trying to get pregnant this month, the cards are indicating that that's probably not going to happen, unfortunately. So there's going to be a little bit of a disappointment if you are trying to get pregnant this month, or even through April. If you are trying to have a family and you are trying for this month or next, looks a little shaky. What I'm getting spiritually is that you will probably get pregnant around June or July, but it's definitely not going to happen in March or April. And the cards are confirming that. So if you're trying to have a family, you're trying to get pregnant, it's probably not going to happen this month. All right, so that has been fire. And last but certainly not least, we are jumping into water. So if you are a Cancer or a Scorpio or a Pisces or, if you are a water sign, this last bit is for you. So let's see what the rest of March has in store. If you are a water sign. All right, so let's see. All right, let's get into it. You are a water sign. You are a water sign. Well, we're going to have a dull month, guys. Okay. Yeah. If you are a water sign, we are looking at the Six of Cups, and it's, is it the reverse? No, that's its upright. Then we have the Chariot in its reverse, and we also have the High Priestess in her reverse. So what this is telling me is that the rest of March, if you are a water sign, the rest of the month of March it's going to be really important for you to focus on the mundane stuff. Step out of your emotions, step out of the spiritual aspect of it. Refocus on the mundane stuff, refocus on work, refocus on money, refocus on making sure your bills are taken care of, those kind of things. So it's going to be very important if you're a water sign to, because we do tend to get a little out there. So we need to bring it on back to the mundane and step out of that watery element. So that's going to be very important for us going into the rest of the month. If you are a single water sign and you have recently, or maybe not so recently, broken up with someone, baby, you need to let them go. What I'm getting on a spiritual level is that you've sugar-coated the relationship. And kind of overlooked all of the negative things in the relationship that caused y'all to break up in the first place. So if you are someone of a water sign who is recently or not so recently broken up with someone, the rest of the month, it's going to be about you letting them go, cutting that tie so that you can move on and open up the door for someone more positive to come into your life. And finally, we have the 9 of coins up in her reverse. We have the 10 of wands. And then we have the devil up in its reverse position. What this is telling me is that, okay, water signs can get bogged down or consumed by things. Water signs can be very easily drawn into alcoholism, drug use, negative emotional behaviors, negative habits. So if you are a water sign, you, first of all, awesome job. You have managed to overcome these things. You do still, maybe you're carrying some burdens that you need to put down and let go, but it's all about focusing inward, focusing in on yourself, letting go and moving past all of these issues that you may have had. It's about congratulating yourself, and it's about embracing all of the positive energy that you have manifested and are bringing out. And it's really going to be about focusing in on yourself spiritually. There's going to be a lot of opportunity, and you don't have to go out with friends. You don't have to be a social butterfly. It's okay to stay home. It's okay to be that solitary person. And it's really important for you to remember that whether you are single or whether you're in a monogamous relationship or a poly relationship or whatever have you, something that you need to understand is, especially if you're a water sign, you have to be okay being alone. Being alone without being lonely. Because you can be alone and not be lonely. Personally, I love being by myself. I am not a big social person. I have to force myself to go to social events because that's not my thing. A lot of water signs get overloaded by energy. A lot of water signs don't feel very comfortable in large group sessions or group situations. And that's okay. So, throughout the rest of the month, focus on being alone, being happy, letting go of some things that you need to let go of, and keep pushing and moving forward spiritually and emotionally. And I think that about covers it. So we have covered earth, air, fire, and water for the rest of the month of March. Normally, depending on how this does, how many views it gets, we may do this like once a month, because I think it's kind of a cool idea. So this has been Deja with Twisted Sisters Mojo. Please do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment, drop us an email. We love it when you do, and we will see you all on the next video.